I now call on the Allan Thompson team.
Mr. Chair, colleagues Paul and Jack Riddle, tonight it's my pleasure, my honor, to place in nomination the name of Allan Thompson. Not long ago, actually it was last century, I stood here and asked people to support me in my nomination bid. I realize what it takes to go through the stress, the struggles of campaigning, and we have the right person at the right time to be the next candidate for Huron-Bruce Federal Liberal Association. He is trained as a professional journalist. He is a professor, but first and foremost, he was born and raised in Glammis, not far from here, and those roots and those formative years have stayed with him all his life. His energy, his hearing ability, his listening ability, his comprehension, and his ability to take quick, decisive action with a strong voice, a voice that has been missing for Huron-Bruce over the last years, is indeed an incredible asset which all of us will be well proud to have as our candidate. So tonight, I would ask you all to support Allan Thompson for our federal Liberal nomination. Thank you.
I'm Erica Murray, and I very proudly second Allan Thompson's nomination.
Thank you. And now I call on Allan Thompson.
Thank you, Murray and Erica. And thank you, Martin, for your kind words. Hope and hard work. That's what it's all about. It's what the Liberal Party offers to Canadians, and it's what it will take to win the next election. Tonight, we're here to choose a candidate for that election. And after months of trying to demonstrate the kind of dedication that I would bring to representing the people of Huron-Bruce, I'm asking for your support. I was born and raised just north of here on a farm in Glammis. Hard work was taken for granted. Every morning when we'd leave for school, Dad would say the same thing: buckle in, work hard. Nobody gets to choose the place where they're born and raised. But I consider myself lucky to have had a farm upbringing. Farm work is character building, although I think I could have done without picking stones. I really do believe that my farm upbringing would serve me well as a representative for Huron-Bruce. Like a lot of young people of my generation, schooling and job opportunities took me elsewhere. I chose to study journalism at Carleton University and later did my master's degree in England. My career in journalism began here with the Kincardine Independent and the Teeswater News. But before long, I was hired by the Toronto Star, where I would spend the next 17 years. A decade of that time was spent as a political reporter on Parliament Hill, which gave me a chance up close to watch national politics in Canada and to learn about the role of an effective member of Parliament. Since 2003, I've been a professor of journalism at Carleton. That means my job is to try and engage with people in their early 20s, try and help them learn. Exactly the same age group that we need to reach out to now if we hope to engage a new generation in the political process. For my part, I've been thinking for a long time about getting into politics. It's always been clear to me that I would do that here, at home, in Huron-Bruce. As Murray and others could tell you, politics is demanding. To do it well, I believe strongly you must have a deep connection with the people that you seek to represent. For me, that connection is here. They say that home is where the heart is, and my heart has always been in Glammis. I have lived in other places, but I've never left home. So I made a conscious decision to take a stand, and to take a stand here against what I believe is the worst government and the worst Prime Minister this country has seen in decades. I have grave concerns about what the Harper government is doing to our democracy. That's why I've chosen to stand here with a party and with a leader that I feel provides Canadians with the greatest hope in a generation of meaningful change. It's time to hit the reset button in Canada's political culture. We have to elect a government that is positive, optimistic, and hopeful. Tonight is about choosing our candidate for the next election. My pledge to you is to provide Huron-Bruce with a new, strong, and energetic voice, a voice that has been lacking. My pledge to you is to provide the strongest possible representation for Huron-Bruce. And that's where I think my farm upbringing and the experience that I've gained elsewhere will really make a difference. But first, we have to win. Since putting my name forward back in July, I have tried to demonstrate that I have what it takes to build a campaign organization, to connect with voters, and to put this riding back where it belongs with the Liberal Party of Canada. I've traveled this riding from end to end. I've met with hundreds of people at church suppers, fall fairs, plowing matches, and many other community events. Nothing can replace that kind of face-to-face connection. It has been both a pleasure and an education. And as a candidate, I would continue to attend as many community events as possible. But to win this riding, we have to do more than that. Because of my media background, I think I've been able to use new media tools effectively, reaching thousands of people through my website, on Facebook and Twitter, and through a weekly newsletter. As your candidate, I would do the same, and more. In this day and age, you just can't do it any other way. In fact, it was through my website that I got to meet a young volunteer who clicked a button online and signed up to help with the campaign. His name is Corbin Critchfield. He's from Mildmay. He's somewhere out there in the crowd. One of my top priorities is to reach out to young people like Corbin. As a first step, I would take a survey with every high school student in this riding. Do it where they live, through their cell phones and their laptops. Ask them what they care about. What would make them get involved? How could government serve them better? But I have other questions as well. What would it take to make it a viable option for our young people to settle down and make their lives in Huron-Bruce? Is it time for us to ask again, why isn't it possible to go to university or college in Huron-Bruce without leaving home? As a candidate and an MP, I would see it as my duty to connect in a meaningful way with mayors, reeves, local councillors. I'd reach out to farmers, to those who work in economic development, in the arts and culture, to Bruce Power, our biggest employer. And I think it's time we recognized how we care for our environment is one of the most important issues, not just for all of us, but especially for our young people. It's an area where our party should be a leader. Most of all, this is about providing the best possible representation for the people of Huron-Bruce, a riding of villages, small towns, and farms. At home in Glammis, we grew up with a sense of the importance of family and community. I can't tell you how much it means to me to have every member of my immediate family with me here tonight. The only person missing is my dad. Allan Thompson passed away a few years ago. Now, if you knew Dad, you would know he was no Liberal. He was a true blue Tory. But I know this, and I know it in my heart. My dad would be very proud of the hard work that I'm doing on this campaign. And now I'm asking for your support. My pledge is to work harder and smarter than any candidate you've seen in a long time. And that work starts here and now. Tonight, tomorrow morning, and the day after that, and the day after that, and as long as it takes to win back this riding and form a Liberal majority government. Thank you.
Thank you, Allan. At this time, I ask once more for all scrutineers from both teams to report to the voting area, please. Make sure all volunteers from both camps have reported to the voting area. The following are instructions for balloting. No campaigning is allowed in the voting area. Candidate literature and handheld signs may not be taken into the voting area. Buttons and other material may be worn on the clothing while in the voting area. A single ballot shall be issued to each member entitled to vote. Today's vote will be determined by a single ballot. You should mark your ballot with an X for only one candidate. No proxy votes, no proxy ballots are allowed. Voters will be required to show identification. The voting area will be closed at 8:30 p.m. sharp. However, anyone in the voting room or in line by 8:30 p.m. will still be allowed to vote. When the ballots are counted and the results are determined, the returning officer will announce the total number of ballots cast, the ballots ruled invalid, and the name of the successful nominee. Otherwise, the results of the voting will not be disclosed. Before I proceed any further, are there any questions from the floor? Are there any questions from the floor? And seeing no hands, we will start the balloting process. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam Exton, sorry, from the Liberal Party of Canada. Just very important because we have a large room. I want to map out for everyone where the lineup is going to go so everyone is aware. So the entrance to the voting room is the back corner, the right. So the lineup is going to go down this wall. It's going to go in front of the chairs, back through the middle, and then it's going to go over, down this wall. We may have to remove a row of chairs or two, and it's going to loop back. So just so everyone's on the same page, to line up, you're going to have to go down this wall, although it will go up this aisle. So just so everyone knows. Thank you.